Zero Authority is a community of people who believe in open source and permissionless systems. Thanks for supporting the community. Remember why you started.
We believe in this opportunity to work in Web3, and people coming in will be a massive shift.
There's a lot of opportunities that are for naught. They're lost, and their people's skills and their what they're really capable of doing is not able to be shined through right now.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Zero Authority is a community of people who believe in permissionless and trustless systems built on Bitcoin. And for better or worse, for any chain for that matter, as we go forward into the future here, today we have a special, very special guest, our buddy, our pal, our friend, jackbinswitch.btc. Jack has been in the community for over a year and a half now. He's one of the top writers on Bitcoin, on Stacks, and we truly miss his writings. I know you've been early to Stacks. You've written a lot of content. You kind of took a break while things were going on and you were writing about other things. But now that you're fully back, we thought, you know what better way to kick off the new year than have Jack Bin Switch back and have him to get his take on ordinals, on Bitcoin Badgers, on Pixie and Pixel Coin. We're going to talk about reputation on chain. We're going to talk about your writings now that you have your own website, and it's on the ticker there, so you could go to his website now, jackbinswitch.com, and see all of the content in one place. And Jack, before we kick everything off, how are you doing, brother? Man, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas. Yeah, man, same. Um, thanks for having me on. I always enjoy talking to you guys. You guys are OGs as far as I'm concerned, and OGs legitimately in the Stacks ecosystem. You have to work real hard to find people who's been around longer, and you're very ahead of the curve with Zero Authority DAO, and people are going to see that play out here shortly. And so, yeah, it's been great, and it's great to see y'all. I always enjoy talking to y'all. You guys, y'all, I've learned so much from you. Put it that way.
Yeah, man, great to be with you. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and yeah, excited for where things are at, and it feels like like we were saying off live. It seems like the resort town is starting to bustle again, man. It's
yeah. That's a great analogy, by the way. But yeah. It is, and it's the hardcore guys who are really here right now. People who, and you've got some people who just like came in at the tail end and really caught the brunt of the bear market. But the casuals and the new retail, they're not even here yet, and we're already off to a great start. And I mean, we're gonna have a dip. You're gonna have a pullback here and there, but I think it's pretty undeniable. I put out a tweet. I don't have it in front of me. It was like in November, I believe, and it was pretty much the bottom. And I was like, this is what bottom feels like. And we've been gradually building since then. And yeah, this will be a lot of fun. And I'm really excited to see you guys take Zero Authority from the concept to actually having it on mainnet, and people need to know what's up. They need to know what's actually going down here, because we're still about 6 months away from everyone coming on and being like, oh my God, this is awesome. I want to work in crypto, or I want to get my business exposed to crypto, or I want to do something on Bitcoin. And then you have the grifters. And really, with what y'all have built, you've pretty much made it to where no, you stand on your own work and people know what they're getting. And that's awesome. That's really cool.
Just a reminder for people in the community, zeroauthority.xyz is live on mainnet. And brother Jack, you've been early with us. We started as just a way to share the stories and the amazing work that a lot of people are doing, whether you're creating content, that could be written content, music content. You're a part of that fabric. We hold you in high regard, Jack. That kind of content that is created and where you can own it, we saw the need where people were working together in various ways and having to trust each other to get some work done. Now, Web3 is all about trustless, permissionless. So we said, you know, what, there should be a way to find someone to work with them trustlessly and be permissionless and use smart contracts in a way it was intended. Now, whether we're going to be used this bull cycle or the next one, we know long term what we're trying to build is reputation on chain where you could go completely fill out your profile and then add like other accolades and other rewards from other sites that you've earned. A lot of people earn their rewards and reputation on a LinkedIn and a GitHub, and they have some other awards and a reputation that they've earned even through like Discord or Telegram. We're gonna make it so you can put that onto your profile and then eventually own all of that data. We believe we're going to be one of many marketplaces in this world. It's just a no-brainer to us, but it's going to be hard. We're doing the hard stuff right now, trying to build the marketplace with people who can actually work together. It's kind of hard to use, but that's where the alpha is, right? That's where
Right.
the alpha is. If you're early to these protocols, uh, just getting into our Discord, leaving comments, being being able to follow us, creating your profile. When we get into airdrop season, this is another thing that a lot of people don't even have their eyes on. And I saw a tweet that you had, Jack, where you talked about airdrop season. You're going to have us doing an airdrop. I know Zest is going to do something. Maybe Bitflow is going to be a new protocol doing some airdrops. We still have the BNS airdrops proposed as a potential idea. I saw a crazy stat that since BNS has started, and I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I think there's been 500,000 stacks that's just been burned. They that went into a burn address. That's
Right.
almost that's over well north of more than $1 million that you could do something with. Having an airdrop there, I mean, it's going to be crazy when airdrop season starts, man.
Yeah.
What do you think about like just the development and the protocols that you're seeing come to life on Stacks right now with the Bitcoin thesis backed?
What's awesome is when I came into the Stacks ecosystem, I saw a lot of cool things being built, and I came in just basically just as the bear market was starting. It was still before anyone knew for sure it was the bear market. It's kind of like where you are right now, where you don't know for sure if it's the bull market, right? Um, but there was some really cool things being built, and that's why I wrote about them and researched them and tried to get information out there because I want to be people to be able to use my blog as a resource to see, oh, these guys have been around a while, this is their vision where they're at now, kind of like a chronicle, right? And but yeah, I think that in terms of airdrop season, and this is just good advice for anybody who's new to this space, you can make the average, you could probably make the average person's salary. I think I saw Bowtied Bull post that actually, and he's right. The average person's salary farming airdrops, if you know what's up. I mean, just about a couple months ago, I just had a optimism airdrop fall in my wallet from out of nowhere. It's awesome, and it's one of the cool things about crypto. I mean, this is one of the things that they'll write about one day for sure. They're going to write a lot about what we've done and what we've experienced, where you can just basically test protocols and get rewarded for it and make good money. Just that alone. But in terms of where we're at right now and what's being built, um, there's a lot of cool things. The DeFi on Bitcoin narrative is massive. Um, I've been saying it's massive for a while, and we're just starting to see that now. Where Stacks, the only reason why Stacks isn't just getting all of the liquidity from that bull they just had on Solana is just the speed. It's people are not used to having these slow transactions, and then you have to tell them, well, yeah, that's going to change. The Nakamoto protocol is going to go live and it's going to be a lot different. But DeFi on Bitcoin is definitely where the attention's going to be for the foreseeable future. You know.
Yeah, I think it's it's really exciting to see, and there's if you look at it from like a strategic standpoint, if you're Stacks and you're launching this massive upgrade to your network, how much better could you have it than people kind of banging on the door trying to get in and use it,
Right.
and here you're upgrading around the corner, as opposed to like if we upgrade it, will people come? We definitely know as of this time that there's a lot of people that are interested in using it right now. And it's nice to see. And then on top of that, you have all of the high Bitcoin fees and all of that. And something interesting that people don't necessarily think about is that I know there's some talk about wanting Stacks SBTC to be used as so exchanges could send Bitcoin. So like say, you give your buddy $50 in Bitcoin in the middle of the bull run. Are you going to pay $50 in transaction fees for him to self-custody it? Or are you going to have it sent via L2 on SBTC and you pay like $1? Right. So no, I think that's something that's going to be huge too.
It is 100%. When you come to Stacks, you quickly realize, oh yeah, this is like the very first. When they say a layer on Bitcoin, you might have a picture in your mind, but then when you learn about Stacks, you see what that picture looks like. This is the way that a alternative economy gets built, and there's a lot of moving parts in an economy, and just like Zero Authority DAO is a part of that. That's what's so exciting when you realize, oh wow, I'm that early. It's mind blowing.
Jack, what do you tell people when they say, "Man, well, I'm just too late to all this stuff"? Because I always tell people it's so early that we still probably have, even on Bitcoin, you probably still have a 10 to 20x from here.
Right. I spent my first 3 years in this space thinking I was late. I mean, it's part, I think that's just part of it. But then the more you understand something, right? Like Bitcoin, crypto in general has a very steep learning curve. And even when you kind of get the mechanics of just degenning down, just if you get there, um, you're still early. You still have a lot to learn. And if you just compare the amount of email addresses that exist on planet Earth versus Bitcoin wallets, that'll put this in a perspective. Just that alone, much less the actual just moving parts and all of the different side chains and all the different things being worked on. I mean, even ordinals, man, ordinals are super early. When people started, Teflon Musk was actually the first person to tell me about ordinals. I was talking to him one day, and he was like, "Dude, they're like making NFTs on Bitcoin." I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. He's like, it's kind of complicated, but yeah. And that was in like December of last year, right? And by February, the ordinals thing kind of started to catch on, and then in no time, you had like Leather, formerly Hero, and X. You had Satoshables, all just you had Gamma. Everyone just rushes and starts building this really cool stuff. When you're there to get to see that stuff being built, you're early, and now we're that many months away from that, and people still don't. Most people don't know what an ordinal is, or why it's important, why it's not just a digital picture, on your computer. Dude, that's super early, and that's just one little aspect of this entire space. And just it's like building blocks, dude. You're building new stuff out all the time. People worry about, well, what do you do with Bitcoin? I don't know. Go into a Discord and see what people are doing with Bitcoin right now. They're buying stuff with it, right? Like they're using it right now. They're using it to buy cooler things on Bitcoin, and that means something. So yeah, super early, tremendously early.
Yeah, I kind of think about how like people say on the early side of adoption, it kind of everything looks kind of playful before your people. It looks kind of like a toy. It looks kind of like, you think about how it's perceived of like people getting on the internet back in the day when it was first coming live. People, what do I need an email for? I can just write a letter. What do I need this? It was all. It all seems so like a toy in a way. And like I look at a lot of kind of the NFT projects and stuff we're doing with, like, say, inscriptions and some of the, even just the meme coin trading that people do and stuff, and it's like it all looks very playful, but it's that means that in essence does mean that you're so early, because you don't have a gig marketplace built out where people can work. And I kind of view us like a Shopify or like an Amazon, and like those things didn't come out on the internet until 5-10 years after people were playing around on the internet, right? So
I'm glad you said the NFT thing, because it leads to something. It leads to some cool thoughts. So right now, sitting here on this very day, there's use cases for NFTs, because an ordinal is not an NFT. An NFT is a smart contract, and smart contracts have programmable functionality. There are industries right now that would benefit from NFT use. Um, I saw something kind of shocking a few weeks ago on X. Y'all know the guy from the '80s. And he's brilliant, very cool artist, Weird Al Yankovic, right? He was like,
Oh, dude, I remember Weird Al, man. All his remixes of real songs.
yeah. So like, he was sitting there, he's doing this video, and he's like thanking his fans. He's like, my fans have downloaded my music on Spotify. It was an insane amount, well into it was like 81 million times during the course of the year. And he's like, after 81 million downloads, and I got my royalties check, and it was about $14. He said, just about enough to get a sandwich at a restaurant. So, thank y'all for the sandwich. And that's when it was like, dude, like, Spotify is awesome. I love using the platform, but music NFTs, right? And you have people right now working on music NFTs. That's a enormous industry, just billions and billions of dollars, that where middlemen get way too much money and the artist gets way too little. Um, Concert and event tickets, same thing. Retail gets absolutely screwed on that. The last time that I bought tickets for a show, wasn't that long ago. I'm trying to remember which concert we went to, but I rang them up, and it was like, yeah, it wasn't too bad, for the amount of tickets I got. It was, about $400 or something. Oh, it was Guns N' Roses. Uh, it's like $400, and then you get to the fees, and that's like this giant add-on to your grand total. Um, there's property. There's all kind of things for NFTs right now that aren't being done. So then when you take that back to, well, if I'm a business and I'm like, Web 2 oriented business, what do I do with these NFT things? You don't want to hire someone who doesn't know the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum to like try to develop your NFT program or figure out how this works for your business. You're going to lose. It's not going to work. You need people with experience who know things, who understand the space and understand the tech. And that's what's so cool about what y'all are doing. That's when people know, hey, there's a resource. I can go here and actually find people, and I don't have to go on Indeed. And during the bull market, everyone and their grandmother on Indeed is some kind of Web 3 expert. No, man, like, that's why Zero Authority is so brilliant. That I'm glad you said that. I was thinking about that earlier. I was hoping that would come up.
Really appreciate that, Jack. You know, it's funny too because Huddle Stacks, we talk all the time, as you can imagine, and uh, we may be talking to some other folks in the ecosystem who have also an interest in seeing that people can take their reputation and make it portable. uh, Huddle and I, we were just talking about the network state, and and the whole concept of why I started Zero Authority was because I saw Balaji at the Blockstack Summit back in 2019. So this is early Blockstack, and then later they rebranded to Stacks. So a lot of people don't even know what Blockstack was. Blockstack was originally the idea of what if we built a whole chain on top of a Bitcoin, and we made it like Ethereum, where the documentation is nice, it's easy to build, and people can do other generalized applications. Balaji had said that the pseudonymous economy is going to emerge where you have a real identity, you have a pseudonym, and then you have your completely anonymous identity. That really sparked this idea of like, well, and think about it like this, Jack. One of the problems I want to solve, and I want us to solve Zero Authority, and we want to push the boundaries on this, and we have a lot of folks that are going to back us on this. Think about it like this: we have this really cool Web3 technology, but today you connect your wallet, you still have to fill out profile level data.
All right.
We think we have a way to solve this where we call it universal profile, where you can select which data attributes you want to list out for your universal profile. And then you connect to Zero Authority, you connect to Gamma, you connect to Alex, and you already have some profile level data. Like those are things that I think people think that's cool if someone solves that. Now that we're on mainnet and we have people engaging and connecting, these are some other problems that we're looking to solve. And we want to do this on Stacks, and then we almost see ourselves as kind of like a chain link eventually too, where once we solve this problem of like people can connect, people can transact, and there's a chat function. I can chat with you in an open, decentralized way that's trustless, permissionless. We still need to build that whole foundation. Once that is established, the whole chain link mantra is we're not going to replace the banks and the payment networks. What we're going to allow them to do is plug into us. And that's why I give Sergey a ton of credit. That's why Swift and Bank of America, they want to work with him. He's not trying to replace them. I also see us, we're not trying to replace the Web 2 applications. It's been great to move society forward, but what we're going to do is allow the LinkedIn's and GitHubs that have your reputation to plug into Zero Authority eventually. And it's going to, we even think of it as like this Web3 talent layer is almost the same way of like cities and states and nations, right? Your DAO should be able, you should be able to connect with people in your DAO, and if you only want to work with them, you should be able to do that through the marketplace. But then at some point, you want to open up and you want to hit the toggle switch. The toggle switch goes from I want to participate in my local economy to I want to participate in a global economy. And that's where I didn't realize the opportunity is, Jack. Like when we built this, I thought, oh, maybe we'll just allow people to connect. But because it's Web3, because it's this open, global, decentralized marketplace, like we're starting to even just like think, what if the Web 2 marketplaces can plug directly in? What would that look like? So those are kind of like the questions that are floating around in my mind, and I ask Coddle the hard questions late at night.
No, those are the best conversations. And actually you're just being early again. This is what you do. Like this is with the people in this space who are serious, who are real. This is what they do. And you're front running the market of ideas, right? So I think that's brilliant. Because the privacy in and of itself is important, but like you say, there's a potential future that we all live in where things are decentralized, period. And I think that the network state is probably correct in a lot of ways in terms of what that may look like. And yeah, there's got to be a way to get out of your own network, so to speak, and solve problems for other people, do things for other people. Yeah, I think it's brilliant. I think it's worth pursuing 100% because it's just going to come up later. You're just super early on it. That's not where people are talking. Right now, everyone's looking at how do I take a little bit of Bitcoin or a little bit of Stacks or a little bit of Ethereum or Solana or what have you and make more of it. But that's like the last thing I wrote. Just that's the 49er spirit. Like if you wouldn't have had the 49ers in the 1800s, you wouldn't have the state of California as it exists, as we know it, right? We're the modern day 49ers. So like, but you still have to have California needs a lot of infrastructure. That's the part. If people can digest that, they can have a pretty good idea of what this all looks like going forward.
Jack, I want to switch gears here. Tell us about jackbinswitch.com and tell us when you made the cutover. Because, at some point during the year, I realized, oh, Jack has his own site now, and he's getting pretty serious about what it would be to be a Web3 writer. I a lot of the things you write about as far as like content creation and things, I think a lot and Huddle Stacks, and we think a lot about it, and we think about like how could we make that experience better, and eventually we would love it if like in your link tree you put uh, your link to your decentralized profile on Zero Authority, and then people
No,
can make
100%.
you a offer directly from there.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool. First thing I have to do is update it. I stay really busy, and I have to just go back and fix some stuff on the site. I was writing the blog for a long time. Then I was writing for Flagship, and it was too much. And Flagship's great. Like, highly recommend people go check out Flagship. They've built something really cool that's going to actually make things so much easier for people in crypto who aren't like builders, who aren't degens. Uh, Absolutely great product, great people. But I was doing a lot of writing for them, same kind of topics, and really I was to a point where I'm like, okay, if I'm going to be serious about this, I'm just have the website, have these things listed. But the reality of it is, it's especially during the bear market, um, it's just too much, and so I just had to back down a little bit. But yeah, I love writing about the stuff. I love talking to the creators. I love talking to the teams. I have a stupidly amazing network that I accidentally built, and I like to put it all in one place because even during the bear market, uh, because of my work, a lot of people like yourselves would read it and you'd know what other teams were doing. You know what other people were doing. It was almost a service in itself that it was an unintended consequence of what I started in the first place. And so, yeah, I'll probably be, adding more to that and doing more to that. The blog itself, I'll probably just turn into a subscription if I decide to continue to make content on it. For any other reason, no other reason other than the fact that it's a lot of time to do that, and at some point, to give it the attention it deserves, I need to make more time for it. And so the putting the stuff out for free is awesome. But a lot of people, if something's free, they don't even pay it any mind. That's one of the quandaries you run into. So I'm not one of those like marketing guys who's like, I'm gonna monetize, this, and I'm gonna do this and do that. That's really not my style. Um, but yeah, if I continue writing, it'll probably be a subscription service. Because the Seagull app has everything you need to do that in the first place. So I'll probably do that. But yeah, I love it, man. If I in my personal life, my professional life, I like what I do. I do something that means a lot. It's something I think I'm supposed to do. But I could probably still serve a good purpose doing that and just not doing it as much. But if I could write 24/7, and that's what I would do. It's like my favorite thing, you know.
Yeah, I can definitely tell from your writing that it's not something that you labor over. It's something you enjoy and that
Yeah,
you know spend a lot of time on, and it shines through. And
no,
yeah, I
thanks, man.
totally understand that too with the wanting to have some sort of payment model with it. You know, in a lot of ways, it's like, you know, people in this space, they're gonna throw like $50 at some like dumb meme coin. They're not gonna throw $50 at something that really provides value, right? So it's I think a lot of people will resonate with that too, especially as we get more and more folks kind of actively engaged day to day.
Yeah, it does depend on the
depend on
meme
the
coin
meme coin
though,
though,
That is
because
true.
you know
you
you've
know, you've
had
had
Welsh
Welsh
that
that
I could
I
kick
could kick
myself over
myself over.
Welsh because you had all this time to buy it, right? And you're just like, oh, there's always more time, always more time. So I have this tiny bag of Welsh that is just like crazy returns right now, you know.
You want to talk
and
about kicking yourself, man? One of the founders back in the day wanted me to like put some posts up about Welsh, and I think I was like, nah, I'm not really the kind of like token shiller kind of guy. I think they were gonna try and give me like 10 or 15 million Welsh or something like that. Like, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. But I still have to check my wallets because I kind of remember I thought I bought some at some point. I haven't checked all my wallets, but I bought some like a month ago, so I'm happy about that.
yeah, when
Yeah,
I
when
had I had a
I had
lot
a
of
lot
it,
of
and it was under 1 million. It was probably about 600,000 700,000 though. And when ordinals came out, I was like, all right, money's tight, something's got to go. So I went through some of my other coins and liquidated them so that I could get ordinals. But um, when I found the honey badgers at Mint, I'm like, oh, these dudes are wild. Like this is my kind of people. So I made a big bet in the honey badgers, and I think ultimately when it's all said and done, the timing of that bet's going to pay off quite well. But that's just it. You know, when you have a winner, you never have enough of it. I mean, that's just that's just how it goes. But I'm happy with it. I was able to buy back in a couple weeks ago, and I caught like that big run, and so that made me happy.
Yeah, it was a nice Christmas present. And yeah, the honey badgers are awesome. I love Aqua's energy and what he's about. I remember I got in on the mint and I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I'm doing it. And I was like, I've been here, I've been around long enough to know when there's something's new and like there's a lot of excitement around it, you're going to be kicking yourself if you don't at least try it. And I think that's kind of the crypto mantra is like, if something's new, you just take the time one night and just try it. Just get out there and like give it a go, see what it's about. And yeah, it really is. That's what it's about. I see Kurt here. Stacks hits 170. Uh-oh. So he's watching the minute chart over here. He's got the chart pulled up next to the stream.
Yeah,
yeah,
dude.
dude.
There's a
There's a
lesson for
lesson for
people to
people.
learn that the honey badgers can teach. And it's no matter who you are in crypto. The first thing is just for people who are new. If you want to learn how to degen, if you like the idea of like the high risk, you know, high reward crypto trading lifestyle, there's a lot to learn there. But if you're a project, there's a lot to learn there. And the biggest thing is authenticity. You're talking about a group of people that all came and got in on a collection and have this shared love of the space, and that you can't fake that, you can't replicate that. That's organic. You know, you can that's not, you know, a company who's like, hey, let's make some, you know, derivative of Board Ape Yacht Club. Or I mean, if we're being honest, that's what Ape Yacht Club became. They kind of became the prototypical NFT model, but there was a lot of VC capital and a lot of things that made that work. The real stuff is out there, and learning about the real stuff is important if you want to, if you actually care about this space. And there's always going to be opportunists. There's always going to be people wherever there's money to be made. You're always going to have people looking to make it quick, but that's what real crypto is. That's what it looks like. And if you can't figure that out, if you can't understand that, you're going to have a bad time in terms of longevity, because cycles come and go. And as I sit here now, I can tell you with a extraordinarily high degree of confidence that a collection like the honey badgers not only will be sought after because of the meme value and how it's associated with Bitcoin, but there'll always be a community there, because that's what that community is about. It's about crypto. It's about the game itself. And until you can figure that out, you're gonna be involved in a lot of pump and dumps on the retail side, and on the institutional side and the investor side, you're going to have a lot of projects that do well for a little while or just potentially never get off the ground. So that's a big shout out to the honey badgers. That's a wild group. I love them. They're legit.
By the way, we got a shout out from Mr. Wagme. Jack's content is the best 100. Give him a follow. Completely agree with that. Mr. Wagme also said, get to know the founders and validate their reputation with thought leaders. Completely agreed. And then of course our one of our Zero Authority OGs, Kurt, he actually helped us get up and running with the whole live stream. We didn't know how to do any of this stuff. And that's also an important lesson for you guys too. Zero Authority, Jack Ben Switch, we weren't born knowing how to do all this. You just got to get out there and start trying to do something. By the way, shout out to the Welsh Corgi coin and the token here. And you guys go grab some Welsh if you get a shot, and just grab a little. The bull run still hasn't officially kicked off, right? Everyone's still waiting for the whole ETF. So who knows if they'll come in January, summer, whenever that comes. So it might be the top of the market, and then you just kind of sell your bag and then wait for the next 2 years. But Jack, I did want to personally thank you as well, because I don't know if you saw the my post here, but since when you wrote this blog post, and you also helped us out, and which is why you're definitely included in the early build, what we call early builders airdrops. There's going to be a general airdrop for people who use our Web 2 version and our Web 3 mainnet, but then there's going to be another group, like a part of the builders, like Kurt was one of the early builders with us. Mariaverse and Kenny, they helped us build the whole Web 2 Web 3 version, and like got us off the ground. And so like we want to be true to people who truly helped us get off the ground. And I say that because I know a lot of these articles people still look at, Jack. And
Oh yeah.
and I don't know if you saw my tweet, but again, this isn't any marketing. We're not telling you to go buy Zero token, because we still have to relaunch, and people who are holding the coin, we'll have to give you probably a double or triple multiplier for the new one. But all of those writings really helped us get off the ground and start to earn some liquidity for people coming into the protocol. That's the most important thing for us here at Zero Authority, that when you participate in this marketplace, and eventually we're going to have a couple of other really cool projects and products that we'll be launching here, where you can have like the Trajan experience, or you can earn your reputation by collaborating peer to peer. But that should be worth something, and that should be able to get you some other rewards, not just like reputation rewards that, hey, I earned this reputation, I've done these things and you could trust me because it's on my decentralized profile. But there should be some dollar value attached, because we're in a similar boat with you, Jack. Like, we do a lot of these things out of the kindness of our heart. We even call it like a labor of love. but at some point we do have to get rewarded. And it's just been crazy to see that we're, look, look at this chart. Like, there's no reason we should be in this chart. Like, these are the blue chips on Stacks, right? These are absolute. We look up to these protocols, and I do want to give a shout out to Alex, to Zest, to the Degen Labs. I want to give a shout out to Gamma. When we were designing our smart contract, there wasn't a template for us. We weren't doing a DeFi app. We weren't doing an NFT app or another DAO app. There was no template for what we're building. And they got in, and their technical teams said, oh, tweak this or modify this. Sabby at Hero helped us. And I'm drawing a blank. He's a developer advocate. Oh, Max. He got in there and he helped us out. So all of those writings and all of this help, it's leading to this ecosystem like truly supporting us. And I can't tell you what that feels like. And it's like represented here in this value that we want to, and eventually we're going to create these creator funds and almost be like a Gitcoin, where people could come in and say, you know what, I don't have enough money to get this project done, but I'm going to tap into the Zero Authority Creator Fund, and we're going to be there to help people build. So it's just completely amazing. I'm like completely bewildered why you started helping us, Jack, because there wasn't much there when you started helping us, and I'm so appreciative, brother, for all of that.
No, it was cool, man. Like I saw what you were doing, and I got to know y'all a little bit, talk to you, and I was like, man, this is awesome. Like it completely resonated, and that was enough. And I'm just hoping that no honey badgers see this video, or else Zero's about to go parabolic because they just figured out there's another coin on Stacks. like next time we're going to be live streaming from Miami, in a pool limousine.
Oh man.
No, that's cool, man. That's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, I tell you, it's it's something we think about a lot, and it's like, man, a lot of people have helped us along the way. I tell Zero too, it's like there's a lot of stuff we ran into that the problem wasn't even solved yet, because no one on Stacks has kind of built the type of platform which we have. So it's we've run into some of our own issues. We were sitting there trying to push to go mainnet in like September, October, and we hit up like the Leather and some of these other people, and they had just released something called Chain Hooks, which allows us to pull data off of the on-chain information. So that's how we can display like, oh, I got a new offer for a gig and stuff like that. And we had just gotten that, and we were like, oh yes, we finally got it. And then there was something else that they hadn't added yet, so we're sitting there waiting for Leather to do some dev work. So some props to all the developers and everything for
and that's
we couldn't have done it without them.
Dude. Like this is all the Wild West still. And that's how it becomes civilization. People working together. So that's awesome. The people in Stacks are not only just immensely talented, but I mean, there's just a lot of good people there, man. It's an awesome place, and you don't have to be in the ecosystem too long to realize that. You look around, you pay attention, you realize that's exactly where you want to be, especially if you've come from like Ethereum or whatever. I mean, Ethereum's great. I'm not trying to disparage it in any way. I right now one of my bags is on Ethereum, right? It's not about that. It's just it was so big and so massive, and you just kind of get lost in the noise. But when you come into Stacks, when I was able to come into it, and you really get a whole different perspective, and that's some of the takeaways. It's just immensely talented, very cool people here.
Jack, I'm just sharing. This is just the main page on Zero Authority. Dude, look at these names scrolling across the screen here. I'm just completely blown away that people are coming to Zero Authority, and I know for a fact, because people will say, well, I found it because I read Jack's blog, and I'm like, I can't tell you like how valuable that's been a part of, like I consider it one of the building blocks. Like there's this whole ecosystem is starting to come together. We're I mean, obviously we're all early, but we're here for the long haul. And that's been like really cool to see you be here for the long haul too, and build alongside of us. We think anyone who's either participating through some type of governance, some type of contributions to a DAO, whether that's on chain, whether that's off chain, like our that participation that you directly put in, because what you're signaling is what these guys are building is important in the real world. And the fact that you're putting your time in, to me, if anyone puts in their time to something, that's the biggest sacrifice you can ever make for a cause.
100%.
And doing that, i I don't know how it's all going to shake out, but I do know people like you, people like Kurt, Mariaverse, Kenny, Sabby, Max, Gamma, Alex, Zest, who have helped us immensely. We need to find a way where either we could even like send some tokens to the treasury, and then they can create a profile, and with that profile they can do their own creator funds on the platform. Something where we can truly give back to this ecosystem. That's what I think about when I go to sleep. I mean, obviously I play with my kid and love my wife, but I do think about that from time to time. Like, how can we truly give back to this community that has given us so much? And I that's it's just amazing to see these names scroll across here, because we haven't even started yet, Jack. And you've been so instrumental a part of this, man.
And here's the thing, this is what's so cool about it. So if you're somebody right now who's like, man, I really want to launch something on the Stacks ecosystem, but I don't know crypto, or I do know crypto, but I don't have any contacts. This is a whole different language, this Clarity language. And you literally could go to Zero Authority DAO right there and have every resource you need to launch a project. Everyone from consulting to marketing to somewhat to messaging to just the whole 9 yards. It's right there. That's why it's so important. That's how the chain grows. That's how I talk a lot about culture, and I do so for a reason. And I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this as a chance to well, I shouldn't say that. I'm gonna try to get my better nature involved here. But like, let's just say, for instance, you had a group of people who were very just almost dogmatic about how they feel about a coin, right? And y'all in your head already know where I'm going with this. And it's just very, this is what you do, and this is what it's for, and this, that, and the other. And then you have people who are trapped in the modern day culture, the zeitgeist that we all live in, and hopefully break away to some extent. And this is what you do, and this is why it's done. And this, no, the culture of crypto is all about taking and just breaking away what's not necessary and creating something new that empowers the individual, right? That's what this is ultimately. If you break it all down, that's what it's all about. And that doesn't happen in a vacuum. That happens because of culture. You build the culture around these ideas, and then more people are introduced to the culture, and then more things get built. And that is the cycle. I'm convinced of it. And it's a simple form of it, but that's the basics. So that's how you build stacks. That's how you get more people introduced to Bitcoin. That's how you take more products to market. When you said earlier about like a good bullish sign is like a bad UI or a bad user experience, yes, it is, because people dig it, and then other people come along and they're like, oh yeah, this is how we make that better. This is how we make that safer. This is how we improve it. And that's the story. And that's how it goes. But it all starts with the culture. That's why it's something that I tend to harp on a little bit when I'm ranting on X. But like, that's part of it, and that's what you guys are doing. If you had someone who got that and they're like, this is where I need to be, they can launch. They can build a product and launch just based on what Zero Authority's doing. And then when you take the reputation piece, it's not just, hey, well, I know a guy who might know Clarity, but he knows Solidity. And I know a guy who, was a part of this group and might have did that. And you try to get this motley crew of people together to make something. No, you save a lot of time and money, and you already know what you're getting. And there you have it. And that's how we grow. That's how we escape the zeitgeist.
Yeah, I really love that, and you're right too. The zeitgeist. I think it's I think we can build our way out of it. And if people are able to produce value for their work, and that's kind of a fair exchange, people feel like that they're actually able to get the value out of what they're capable of contributing and all of that. I think that sort of personal responsibility, that kind of meritocracy, I think that kind of really can impact people. And there's people all around the world that have a lot of capabilities, and they're stuck in their country, or they're stuck in their town and everything else. And just to empower those people to like fully
Right.
learn new stuff, earn reputation, earn some crypto, and then on top of that, it's like, if it's easier to connect those people, imagine what could be built, imagine what kind of benefits could come from it.
100%.
Yeah,
Because if we lived in a country where the power structures weren't so embedded with let's call it like it is. This is no need for pretty language. We essentially live in an oligarchy, and you have a lot of protection going on at the regulatory level to try to benefit the oligarchs. And so we would be much further along than we are now if there was more clarity, if there were less regulations, if government was smaller, etc. So anything we build, it's almost like time is of the essence. So anything that can make just building something more streamlined, more efficient, more quality, not wasting time with, too many things that aren't going to land. If a Fortune 500 company wants to get into crypto, and so they release an NFT, who cares? Like, what does the NFT do? Like, if I have a Pepsi NFT, do I get to take it to the grocery store where I buy my Pepsi and get a free Pepsi when I go? Like, what's the benefit? Is there nobody wants it? If everyone can have it, there's no value. Did you dig up Andy Warhol at the cemetery and have him autograph it? Like, what do we have here? Like, so the more you avoid nonsense like that, and the way you avoid the nonsense is by finding the people who are embedded in the culture. And that's what y'all are doing. That's what's so important. That's why I would take time and write about things. That's why I do that for any of these things I've written about. It's because it's for the people who are in it, who love it, and it's for the people who need to learn. And it's like, this is the good stuff. This is what moves the needle. Let's look in this direction.
Speaking about culture, this is a fun one. What do you think about when you see this?
I think Megapont has just insanely good pixel art, like just bar none, right? Like, I have a soft spot for pixel art anyway, because I grew up in the 8-bit era of gaming. I cut my teeth on the Nintendo Entertainment Center when I was like 6 or 7. So I've already got, a soft spot for it. But Megapont is a good example of a team that has a plan. It's a good example of a team that has integrity. So I'm very interested in Pixie because it is a meme coin, but it has a use case. Oh, and by the way, just from like my DGen point of view, extremely low market cap on ETH, which has not been the rotation has not hit ETH this cycle. And spoiler alert, um, that's what a crypto bull market looks like. It looks like chain to chain, cycle to cycle. What happened with Solana right now is so similar to what happened with BNB after DeFi summer. It's not crazy. It's just, but anyway, ETH hasn't had its part of the rotation yet, and this is a coin where the liquidity is just locked up for like 99 years. There's no team tokens. It's community. It's a lot like Welsh, but it also has a use case where people are going to be able to move their NFTs from Ethereum and make them ordinals on Bitcoin. This is a team that has a lot of success in the past. So for me, when I see that, it clicks all the boxes because I learned pretty early on, probably somewhere around 2018, that like the sweet spot for buying an altcoin at the time was like 60 to about 400K if you wanted to, assuming you didn't buy a rug or you didn't just buy straight up vaporware. Um, and so like you see Pixie, it's not there right now, but it's like what? Well, it's Pixel is the whole name, but you see it's like what? It's like 260,000 or so, and I was like, green button, let's do this. Like, come on. But a great team, man, and great art, and NFTs, ordinals. People like, oh, NFTs are dead. No, a lot of NFTs are dead. Undoubted. But when you've got a good community, you've got a good mission, and you're doing cool stuff. That's and that's Megapont. I mean, those dudes don't play. So yeah, I'm really excited to see where that one goes.
Yeah, the Megapont guys, they know culture, man. You
real,
get in there and it's like, I think I was even in there in like the bear market, and I was like, man, these guys are still just having fun. It's like
right.
You want to be around people that are kind of having fun, positive, always trying to be helpful, and you know, kind of cutting edge, innovative. It's like, man, those are the guys. So it's really cool to see.
Yeah. And you have all of those things that I just said about Pixel, and I was thinking about Welsh earlier, and like narrative. When you want to talk about narrative is everything, right? Dude, and I saw someone say this, and it struck me. I'm like, why didn't I see this before? But they're 1,000% right. Like Welsh literally is forever known as the first meme coin on Bitcoin. How's that for a narrative? That's insane. Like, but yeah, narrative, good teams, good quality projects. This is the best part of crypto, and it's always fun to just like throw a little bit of money at something that's probably going to rug at some point. But at a certain point, that's not going to exist anymore, and there's no real need to even do that now because there's so many gains to be made out of quality projects. Um, that that's where my attention is, at least from like my trading standpoint.
So, Jack, I remember when Pixie was launched, and I was like, oh, that's a meme coin. I'll throw a couple hundred at it. Then I saw you tweeting about it, and I was like, wow, Jack is really bullish on this. And I was like, you know what? Let me look into this a little bit more. And I was like, all right, I don't really want to spend that much. Maybe I'll just take a couple thousand because that's as much as I'll go for a meme coin. And totally had forgotten about it. And then I saw I, the Pixel coin tweeting, so I would retweet and share some because it's fun. It's really fun. And I was like, this is just total meme coin. So then Mark had said, I'm gonna give up my entire bag. And so I got some of his bag because he gave, I guess, to the top 25 holders, which I didn't realize I was top 25 holder. And and then I thought, you know what, let me look into this a little bit more. Like what are they gonna do? So then I was messaging back and forth with what's the co-founder of Megapont? What's his name?
It's not. You're not talking about Weasley, are you?
Weasley. Yeah, I was messaging with Weasley, and I was like, "Hey, what are you guys going to do with the Mega Coin too?" Because they had given out a bunch of Mega Coin away, and then obviously they had this Pixie, and he was like, "Oh, you'll want to sit tight. Something's coming," and then I totally just kind of forgot about it, and I had some time during the holidays, and I'm looking at this thing. Then I saw your tweet. I'm like, holy smokes, this thing is up. That was just what, 1 week. So from the summer to now, this thing is probably up like 1,000%. And I'm like, oh man, this is getting crazy. I totally expected this to just be some fun little meme coin. And then they announced you could use Pixie for the teleburn. So with your Megapunk, you could, was it for the, oh no, it's for, I don't know what it's for exactly, but I think all of your mega, any of your Megapont NFTs, I'm sure at some point you could teleburn them and create an ordinal from it. And I thought this is way more than I bargained for, but I should have known because it's Megapont. They're always pushing the boundaries. They were the first one to create ordinals and have it as the in the vaults where you could lock it up, or you could unlock it on the chain. And so like they're always pushing the boundaries. I mean, to their credit, they're always doing hard stuff, but that's the alpha. If you could figure out how to do this stuff, that is the alpha. And I just saw your tweet recently, and I thought, holy smokes, this thing it's going to. You're right about the narratives. It's always Bitcoin is first to take off during the bull run. Then there's a couple of narratives. Then it's Ethereum. Then there's a couple of NFT projects and NFT narratives, and then the whole meme coin comes at the end, towards the end of the market. When this thing really starts to gather some steam, and then other people realize there's actually a utility to this thing, I can't even, I don't even know where this is going to be. Like with Welsh Coin too, like I don't know if they have any utility at all. I know they have the NFTs, but it's just fun to trade. And when we see that whole retail crowd come back, this thing is going to be insane.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing. Like that's what makes me so just I don't know. I don't want to go on a tirade, but people enjoy this. People like to trade. I love it. It's a lot of fun, and it's all about doing it responsibly, learning risk management, learning your limits. But it's fun, and there should be more trading products. If I wanted to go to the store or down from my house and go just take my entire paycheck and buy lottery tickets with it, no one's going to stop me. But if I want to trade on leverage, I have to jump through 50 hoops, use VPNs, do this, that, and the other. And why? Because some fossil who doesn't know how to operate an Atari, doesn't know anything about crypto, because some regulators carrying water for big firms and banks. That drives me nuts. But anyway, I digress. But it's fun. The meme coins are fun. Crypto is fun. It's the best.
Yeah. And let me piggyback on there for narrative. I saw something interesting about ordinals the other day, and it kind of got me thinking a little bit. You have Megapunks, you have the Badgers, and all these kind of early mints. But, not only are they interesting because they're early, you also have a pretty cool community with it. But when NFTs started kind of going crazy on Ethereum last cycle, there was really no stopping it. It was really there was the chain that was the only thing stopping the amount of NFTs that were getting produced day in, day out. And there were new projects all the time, and it's much harder to produce a real project, let alone all of the ones in the bull market that are kind of just here and gone. So, to think in the future for people to want to even create an authentic, great community ordinal project, it's going to be hard. It's going to be costly to inscribe all of them and everything. And so the ones that are early that are they've already put the cost in, they've already built it, they're here, they're doing fun stuff. It's I can only imagine what will happen with those. So
When you look at it, there's a few things to consider. Go look at the total crypto market cap right now compared to where it is, and like it'll show you, it'll put this run into perspective. Um, because we're nowhere near the top, and it's my conviction that this next bull run, this is going to be the biggest one so far. Um, and then when you think about, there are a lot of dead chains that don't have much going on. There's a lot of liquidity there that is going to be moved to other places. People in, I'm considered, depending on what you look at, I'm either a really, really, last generation of Gen X or a really old millennial. But people in my generation, and especially like the generation younger and like my kids and stuff, they have so few opportunities. And the real, what you retirement, social security, that's going to be gone. The stock market, that's where everything's already owned, or you can't get anything until it's already been, bought, at pre-sale essentially, and then you just get, these jacked up prices for stuff that may or may not be worth anything. You look at all of these things and you see, wow, like that's this is a chance for people to legitimately set themselves up if they know what they're doing, if they don't get preyed upon, if they do, their research, if they do their homework. This is a chance to make, you know tons and tons of gains, and that goes right back to the things like the ordinals that you were talking about before. When it just started, the fees were not what they are now. People hadn't caught on. There was, a lot of that early stuff is not going to be able to be replicated later. And that's what it's all about in this space is suffering the bad UI, suffering the bad UX, getting the alpha, and setting yourself up. And there's going to be a lot of chances for people to set themselves up, and I'm all for it. I think that's the best thing that can happen, because as people come in and there's more liquidity brought to these markets, cooler stuff's going to be built. And just like we were talking at the beginning, like you're seeing the building blocks of a whole new economy being laid every day. And that's no matter what part in this space you play, you're working towards that end, whether you're aware of it or not.
Jack, great conversation, man. I love when you come on. We get to just chat about life, culture, Web3, stacks, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. I I just really appreciate your time, man. Before we're at the end now, and just want to get your thoughts on the upcoming year, what you got planned. Before we jump into that, I just wanted, I don't know if Hero Gamer .btc is watching this, but uh, he has kicked off the D grants, the cohort one. There's some really cool, interesting projects coming through. People are going to start building on stacks and Bitcoin, and they're going to have their profiles on Zero Authority, and the Hero Gamer is going to use first cohort to run through Zero Authority. It's going to be really cool to see that happen here soon. Uh, so grateful to Hero for taking the journey with us, and making a bet that trustless permissionless systems are going to be the way of the future. But just wanted to give people a shout out too. Like if you think about building something and you're not sure where to start, reach out to Hero Gamer, and reach out to us at Zero Authority. Reach out to Jack. He's always a resource that you can find on the interwebs, and we're always happy to connect you with the right people, especially if you know what you're doing and you just need a little bit of direction. Even if you don't know what you're doing and you want some advice, we're always happy to continue those conversations. So just wanted to give a shout out to Hero Gamer, because that's going to be huge to do the first D grants. And the way he's doing it, I gotta say, I've been really impressed. A lot of other foundations and chains, they're afraid to run decentralized grants in this way, but I got to give it to Stacks. We said let's go ahead and take the risk. We talk about the ethos of Bitcoin. How can we talk about it and not live it? And so they're going to live it, and I like that. I like when people put their money where their mouth is.
And Hero Gamer is an absolute gem, dude. Like, he's an indispensable member of this community. And my very first nonce issue on my wallet, I didn't know what it was. I'd never run into that before. I go to the Stacks Discord, and I ask, and sure enough, it was Hero Gamer. He's the one who told me right then, all that time ago. And he's like everywhere all at once,
He's good people.
Yeah, he's a great guy, man. And he genuinely cares, and he cares about the small stuff. He cares about the day-to-day stuff, and he cares about doing things the right way too. So
Dude's got a dry sense of humor, but he is hilarious too.
Oh man, yeah, he's a great guy. Great guy.
So Jack, as we get to the end here, man, just thanks so much for giving your time again. This has been awesome. What's on the roadmap for Jack in 2024? What are some things that keep you interested and keep you sticking around?
Oh man, well I'm gonna be trading. I've learned not to overtrade, so I learned to sit on my hands. That's a hard lesson, but it's one you got to learn. But I'm always gonna be looking for alpha and seeing what I could find, and yeah, time permitting, I will probably write some stuff here and there. Like I said, I'm still on the fence about whether or not I make regular content anymore. I enjoy stuff like this, so I mean, I might do some streams. I did about 11 episodes of the podcast. That was a lot of fun, but I'm on the fence about that as well. So I guess right now it's just about being in the middle of the space without being consumed by it. But as you know, anytime y'all need, anything y'all need, I'll do anything I can for you guys. And the people that I've worked with before and talked to before, I always try to be helpful. And yeah, because I love what this culture is. I love what crypto represents, and the fact of the matter is, like, we have to do our part to make the world a better place, and believe it or not, this motley crew of giga brains and degens, we, at the end of the day, that's what we're doing. We're actually helping to build something to make the world a better place.
Yeah, and that's what it's about. I tell Zero that all the time. We're building foundational layers of what this entire economy is going to be in the future. And I always say it's like we're in a new industrial revolution, and we see how much that changed our parents' lives and our grandparents' lives, and for the better and for the worse. And so if we're here in the trenches, we can make it a little better than what we've experienced before, and a little bit more like we want to see the world. So.
You guys there? Jack, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I think Jack.
No, I couldn't agree more, brother. Couldn't agree more.
Jack's a little frozen.
Oh, did we lose Zero?
Yeah, we lost you there for a split second there, Jack.
There you are, Jack. Hey, brother Jack, we got to have you on again here coming up in the new bull run.
Okay.
Thanks so much again for your time today, brother.
All right, I'm back. Oh, I think we might be tapped out. I think my internet's begging for mercy.
I think we're gonna call it here.
Yeah, happy New Year's, man. Have a good year ahead. We'll stay in contact, all right?
Yeah.
Take care, man.
Later, y'all.
Zero Authority is a community of people who believe in open source and permissionless systems. Thanks for supporting the community. Remember why you started.